Give me a second here, guys. Gonna be a quick talk. I got a head start on my tea, so I wouldn't drink and talk too much at the same time and let my tea get cold, as we all know how awful it is to take that last sip of tepid, the word that we all dread, tepid. Um, Tepid tea. Anyway, I thought I'd come here and, again, all the talks and, of course, miracles are going to be impromptu for the most part. We're just going to show up. I think Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays might be the best days, but who knows? Hey, when it's impromptu, it's just that it's impromptu. I wanted to talk about the Holy Spirit. Our friend Dale comes in mornings and afternoons quite a bit. Excuse me. He mentioned about what would I recommend for someone who is interested in the teachings of the Course in Miracles, but they're turned off by the Christian language. And that's actually a really common question. And the answer to that is probably different for everyone. That, I would talk about it differently for each person who might ask. I was that way myself. I had left I was raised a Catholic, not strict, but went to a Catholic school. So in school, it was fairly strict. At home, no, not so much. I went to church when school demanded it, or for whatever reason my parents decided. And mainly, I sort of went along with that because we got to go out to eat for pancakes after church. Um, so it was a compromise. Anyway, when I was able to, which was after ninth grade, when I was kicked out of my Catholic high school for reasons we won't get into. Well, we could if we wanted to. I was never that much of a troublemaker, but I found myself in trouble fairly often because I was a wanderer and a daydreamer, and I couldn't concentrate in school. Oddly, I could concentrate on a book, and I would often ditch school or stay in school and just hide out in the library until I was discovered and sent to class. Um, let's see. Hey, YCR, how are you, my friend? So yeah, I left Christianity and Catholic Church largely behind. So when I discovered the Course in Miracles, the last thing I wanted was a Christian teaching. I didn't have an issue with Jesus. Hey, Miss Flipper. Hey, Miss Flipper. Why didn't you get a membership? And welcome. I appreciate it. Oops, actually, this isn't members only, is it? This is a regular. Shoot. This was supposed to be a members only. But my mistake. I'm happy to see you guys. We're only going to talk for about 15 minutes or so. Yep, you didn't. This is what I get for not planning things in advance, impromptu. Oops, gotta be. I'm glad you're here too. Thanks, YCR7 says like your glasses. Appreciate that. I think they're a little crooked. Or maybe it's my head. Maybe my head is off kilter. Um, so anyway, I understand if someone says, "Hey, I want to learn Course in Miracles. I want to learn what it has to offer, but I don't like the Christian language." Um, like I said, I was there myself. Sometimes I'm still there. And when we say the Holy Spirit, I'm talking to you, my friend. When we say the Holy Spirit, that's one of the first words, trigger words, where people who are not religious are not. Hey, Fire Empire, I'm doing good. Uh, they get completely turned off by the course. However, um, when we say the Holy Spirit, the language of Christianity that's used in the Course of Miracles is to be reframed. It has nothing to do with Christianity as taught in traditional means. That it is really a reinterpretation of the teachings of original Christianity, which is a non-dual tradition. As well, it has more in common with Advaita Vedanta, yogic philosophy, and Buddhism. Mr. Whipper says, today's lesson, we are entitled to miracles. And let miracles replace all my grievances. I like that. John Clayton says, are you in Maryland? I am in Maryland. So the Holy Spirit, we could reclassify, and feel free to classify terms, but not meaning. That makes sense. Meaning of the Course in Miracles stands clear. However, the language can be switched around for comfort. If you don't like the term Holy Spirit, hey Kobe, if you don't like the word Holy Spirit, change it to the Tao. If you don't like thinking of Jesus, switch to Krishna, Buddha. It doesn't matter. The Holy Spirit, again, which could be reinterpreted as the Tao or love, is right-mindedness. Buddha, how are you? Namaste to you. That's it. Reese says, God isn't real. Probably not for you. Buddha says, or hey, Rob. Rob says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Buddha's in the background. Yeah, we're only going to talk for about 10 more minutes. So, I'm glad you're good. We're going to do any breathing. Wasn't the plan, but are you in need of some breathing? Miss Pippa says, Holy Spirit equals mechanicism of miracles. Yes. Right-mindedness. That's it. It's that simple. Right-mindedness. So if we are thinking in terms of Holy Spirit communication medium. Nice. Thank you. One of us says, nah, I mean, lunch might be hard to breathe and do that. It would be hard, especially if you were eating spaghetti. I don't know why spaghetti came up. Buddha says, namaste to everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you too, my friend. Holy Spirit equals mind of atonement. Exactly. That was my reading for the day. You are eating noodles. I'm actually reading chapter 14, and today was section 5, the Circle of Atonement. The only part of your mind that has any reality is the part that links you still with God. That's the Holy Spirit. When you have all of it transformed into a radiant message of God's love to share with all the lonely ones who have denied him, God makes this possible. God makes this possible by having us linked to the Holy Spirit, giving us a choice between the wrong-mindedness of the ego. Sometimes we get in discussions. Sometimes it seems like a debate on the reality of the ego. The ego is necessary. The ego is needed. The ego is this or that. It depends on what school of psychology you're talking about. And here, we're going to talk about it in terms of yoga, Buddhism, Course in Miracles, Vedic philosophy. We're talking about ego being the misinterpretation of who we are. What's up, Nightmare? Nightmare says, just me, sir. Holy Spirit, spirit of joy. Motivation for miracle-mindedness. Yes. And available. That's the greatest thing. Shared inspiration of all the sonship. Answer to the separation. Availability. So, back to the circle of atonement. Listen to the Holy Spirit and to God through him. He speaks to you. He speaks of you to you. There is no guilt in you, for God is best in his Son, as the Son is best in him. It's important to consider. God's Son is guiltless, which means that we are guiltless, which means everyone else, no matter what it seems they have done, and everyone wants to enter in a yeah, but, or what about. No exceptions. What's up, Jason? Guiltless. However, guiltless does not mean that someone is not held responsible for an action. There's a difference. There's a big difference. Rob says, I just tagged you on your community page. Me? Well, thank you. If it's me, Holy Spirit, answer to the separation, yes. Jason says, good morning, Brother Yogi. Thanks for the like and comment on video of my music. You're welcome, my friend. I hope you keep pursuing it. You know, YouTube is a great, great platform for sharing, developing, and sharing our creativity and talent. Sebastian says, Eric, is the ego the vessel that manifests all our thoughts, anger, disdain, arrogance? Yes. Simplifying it, yes. Let's put it this way, that the ego is the vessel that interprets our thoughts, anger, disdain, and arrogance. So someone might say that those are bodily sensations. That's debatable or not. Everything begins with a thought, whether we register that thought or not. It's the ego that reinterprets that for the ego's purpose of being separate, self-important. The Holy Spirit doesn't reinterpret. The Holy Spirit just accepts and just is. It's our connection to absolute love. It's a reminder. Kirby says, how's your day been so far, Yogi? My day has been good. I went out, took almost a 5-mile walk, fast-paced walk. I got about, I was doing about 14-something miles out of my walking pace. And I also filmed. I filmed a couple deer today. I filmed 2 bunny rabbits, which we'll share with our friend Willow. I filmed a duck. Lots of deer. Holy Spirit, idea of healing. The bridge for the transfer of perception to knowledge. I like that one especially. How about you, Kobe? How's your day been? Rob says, you see my community page? I will. Rob, I'll bring it up. A couple more sips of tea. Hey, prayers to your cousin's grandmother, Rob. And I'm happy to help get more subscribers if I'm able. We will do what we can. Hey, Lucy. Jason says, that's a nice walk, Yogi. Thanks. Yeah, it was a good walk. I got back in. I did the bare minimum burpees that I need and some pull-ups. Cat says, slow anyways. Hey, Cat. Cat says, is it over? Not quite. Jason says, if I could be a country singer, I would, buddy. Got people in Tennessee wanting to cut a record out on Radian. I just got to get there. Hey, use your channel as practice, as debuting your talent, developing your talent. That's what YouTube's for. Holy Spirit, idea of healing. I think my favorite is the bridge to transfer of perception to knowledge. Jason says, how to cat. Kobe says, my name's been very nice here. Good, Kobe. Glad to hear it. You guys are a bit later. I figure. I'm going to do, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to do my second round of yoga for the day, yoga asanas, and some breath work, and some meditating. Runner Boy says, Yogi's signature is less than 100 hours away from 3K right now. Gotcha. I give him watch hours as often as I can, but we can certainly bump that up. Thank you, Runner Boy. Kirby says, good afternoon, Jason. Miss Flipper says, fishbowl imperatives. Let the Holy Spirit show him to you and teach you both his love and call to love. That's an important thing to consider. 7:44 a.m. here in Missouri. It's I guess it's what, 8:44 here? That was it. My last sip of tea, and it was still slightly warm. It was not quite on the tepid side. That was the goal for today. Man, I could go to bed right now. My goal has been reached. Such an easy goal. Drink your tea before it's tepid. Should we all have goals that easy in life and achieve them just as easily? Or so it seems. Miss Pip says 2:45 p.m. here. Cody says at work, listening in. Thank you, Cody. Gretchen says, Eric, I'm very happy Kobe has turned into your channel and the community. Kobe can learn from here, and more importantly, a good example of how to communicate respectfully. Agreed. A lot of people take social media for granted. Why do I have to be respectful? Because, hey, one, I don't know them. Two, they're so far away. But here's the important thing, because they're people. Regardless of what they bring to you, they're people. Course in Miracles says that every attack, every seeming attack, is an appeal for help and healing. That's the interpretation of the Holy Spirit. The interpretation of the ego says, you're attacking me. How dare you attack me? And I need to defend myself. I need to attack back. Or, before you attack me, I need to attack you because I get the feeling that you're going to attack me. But we don't have to live our lives that way. Here's one of the core messages of Course in Miracles. I can choose peace. Course in Miracles says I can choose peace instead of this because it's very specific. Being less specific, I can choose peace. As simple as that. Peace is who we are. In the absence of the thought of otherwise, we're at peace. It's only when we have that thought, this is disturbing my peace. This is hurting me. This is attacking me. But in the absence of that thought. Now, in the absence of that thought, we can look at it, we can look at that thought, we can look at what it's producing, and we can choose otherwise in any single moment. What a great lesson. What a great realization. I mean, I don't have to feel like this. I can see how I'm feeling. I can be aware of my feeling. And just through the lens of my awareness, I can allow it to be something else. Whatever it is. And can you imagine, hey, if you get it on YouTube, if you understand that on YouTube, that just because someone says something to you doesn't have to be interpreted as an attack. How about all social media? If someone pointed the finger and says, I like this political figure, and you say whatever, counter argument, imagine if you just thought of it as thoughts, didn't take it so personally, didn't feel the instant need to beat someone down for thinking differently than you, because it's just a thought. I can choose peace. And peace isn't a thought. Now, a thought can be a vehicle to lead you to peace, but peace is simply awareness. Simply awareness. Awareness is synonymous with love. Love is synonymous with peace. Peace is synonymous with God. I can choose God instead of this. I can choose love instead of this. I can choose peace instead of this. Instant Zen. Doesn't even have to be an active. Just know that it's present. Just know that even in the midst of everything that I'm feeling, peace resides. That's simple. We don't need to make it this big internal production. We don't need to look at our attacker in the eye and fold our hands in front of the heart center and say, peace forgives you. Just smile. Or if you can't smile, just walk away. It's okay not to choose the Holy Spirit. It's okay not to choose peace. Just know, right now I can't. know it's an option, but right now I can't. I wish I could, but right now I can't. Because guess what? That is, you're on that slim edge of peacefulness itself, realizing that right now it's just a little bit beyond you. You're choosing the peace of not being completely at peace. When says, I take many things for granted. Uh, they get very hard. Burna Boy is always clever. Lucy says, so Sebastian. Jason says, love you, friends. Burna Boy says, I had a guy last night come in and troll. Then by the time of the convo, he decided he'd be cool and stop. Nice. I don't know. I honestly, I can't imagine why anyone would troll Runner Boy, except for using straps on his dumbbell curls. Um, but he's a sincere hard worker in the gym. No one works harder, and he shares it, and he explains it so well that I just don't understand what's the point in someone who's trolling, who's showing up every day and putting the work in. Well, he's working right now, 2 jobs. Hey, Hostile Cowboy says, "Yo, do you like orange juice?" I do like orange juice, but I don't drink it. Chris Pippa says, "You've got the freedom anyway to choose again." Exactly. Choose again. Cody says, "Happy birthday, Miss Flipper. Missed you on the 27th." We had a good celebration for everyone. Hey, Elfish says hello. Thanks and thumbs up. I appreciate that, guys. Jason says, "Good morning. Thanks." Hey, so our friend Rob up ahead, up top, is looking for some subscribers. He's getting close to a number that he wants to reach. Um, our friend Jason Phelps, a budding country singer, help support his channel. Show up, uh, give some tips if you know anything about music. Uh, be constructive, be helpful, um, and share him out. Help him get some numbers. You know what? Your talent tends to grow with the greater the audience. So the more you put out there, the more you practice, the more you just sing and be creative, and the more people come, and then the more people will share your message. Your talent just keeps growing. All right, so hey, Willa, Yogi, can do we breath work today? We can. Right now, though, I'm gonna wrap things up. This was a impromptu uh, Course Miracles discussion. I thought I was going live on my members, and I ended up going live with everyone, which is probably even better because I had a great conversation with all you guys. Pretty awesome. Elfish says, "I'll get you back." Nice, guys. Sebastian says, Yogi, we've discussed some great things this week. I keep thinking back to the pinned comment of God thinks otherwise. Yeah, that is an all-time favorite, and it's one little sentence. That's it in the entirety of the course. And God thinks otherwise. Let me bring that up real quick. Thanks for bringing that up. One sentence. Here's what I love about Course Miracles. It's also what I love about the Tao Te Ching, to a certain extent, the Bhagavad Gita too, is sometimes just one sentence leaps out and puts the entirety of the text, all what 700 and some pages in the text, um, into such a great perspective. So this is paragraph 2. This is in a a section called Irreconcilable Beliefs. I had to pick one with a hard thing for me to pronounce. Section 2. Do you not realize a war against yourself would be a war on God? Is victory conceivable? And if it were, is this the victory that you would want? The death of God, if it were possible, would be your death. Is this a victory? The ego always marches to defeat because it thinks that triumph over you is possible, and God thinks otherwise. This is no war, only the mad belief that the will of God can be attacked and overthrown. You may identify with this belief, but never will it be more than madness, and fear will reign in madness and will seem to have replaced love there. Seem is the operative word. This is a conflict's purpose. And to those who think that it is possible, the means seems real. So let's ignore everything else but that one sentence. And God thinks otherwise. We think, the ego thinks. Let's do away with the ego. We think that we are small and separate from the source. We think that we don't deserve love. We think that we are guilty. We think that other people are guilty of something. We attack in order to defend ourselves. We feel that we need to be defended, that defense is the only means of going through life. We think that there is only enough for certain people not to go around. We think that peace is impossible, or that it's only possible for certain people, certain countries, certain entities that have lots of money. We think all kinds of things. Guess what? One sentence, and God thinks otherwise. We think it's okay for children to starve. We think we don't have enough food to go around. We think that people who are homeless just didn't work hard enough and they get what they get. Guess what? God thinks otherwise. We think that we'll never have peace. There's always going to be war. One country is always going to be at war with another country. God thinks otherwise. Because there's only one thought of God, and that's love. Love is synonymous with peace. Everything that we're thinking, God thinks otherwise. It's as simple as that. Anytime you find yourself in conflict, anytime you're arguing, every time that you are offended, defensive, every time you think you can't forgive yourself for all that stuff that I just mentioned, God thinks otherwise. It's pretty simple. Kobe says, "This is answers to the three gates." Absolutely, Kobe. What a great insight. Thank you for that. Willa says, "Yogi, how are you?" I'm good, Willa. Willa says, "I thought it was earlier." Yeah, it is. A little bit early. Hey, Llama. Did you just lengthen your title? Says, "Hi, Yogi. Sorry I haven't been on your lives. I've been my caravan." That's okay. We're always here. Sebastian says, "I agree, Colby. Eric, the two things linked together beautifully." Hey, are you guys going to be around this afternoon? And I'll be live 2 more times. In any of the ones that I'm live, if you're going to be around, let's link that up. Let's link them together and let's talk about that. I just wrote that down. Man, that was awesome, Kobe. Let's see. Korea Kong says, Elfish, hello. Hey, I appreciate the like, Core Kong. Jason says, "I'll be there." Thanks, Jason. And Will says, I will be around later. Yes. All right. We will definitely do some breath work this afternoon. However, Willow, if you need some quick breath work, let me give a suggestion. Hey Joshua, a quick suggestion to help navigate the time in between. Sit in a chair and relax. Notice your breath. Use the Darth Vader breath. Use the cat breath. That ha. Breathe in for count of 4. Notice the pause. Exhale for count of 4. Notice the pause. Just do that 5 to 10 times. Jesus says, thanks everyone. Good morning. You're welcome. And thank you, Jason. Appreciate you being here. All right. Joshua says, hey, Joshua, aren't you going live in just a minute? Oh, man, did I get your time wrong? Sebastian says, definitely, Yogi. All right, we're going to tie that together, guys. Justin says, Willow, well, I hope your week is wonderful too. Wonderful for you. Me too. Willow says, all right, thanks, Yogi. You're welcome. All right. Speaking of doing stuff, I'm going to go do my second round of yoga for the day, yoga asanas. And then I'm going to do some breath work, and then I'm going to meditate. I got one more walk to take too. One more long walk to take. With that, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. And I'll see y'all later.